We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met class expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
Also, someone that they're fired, completely wreck their whole life, and then that's it with no explanation. That's extremely traumatizing for people. And I feel that employers like yourself, who bring
Yeah, it is.
skilled labor from other countries.
Oh yeah,
why
mass
not they look
immigration.
at our own country and give them the skill set that they need
Can't
to
have
build
that.
your homes.
We just don't have those bots.
Right.
Just don't have those bots.
Right.
Just don't have
Repeat.
those bots.
Right.
Repeat.
Just don't have those bots.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, well, people get fired of workplace injury all the time. Anyway, welcome to another edition of NutriRebel. And today we're talking about, as you can see, the working world, why people get fired, the common reasons they get fired, or they quit, or employers fire them, or why they get injured on the job, on the workplace, right? We usually hear, just take a balanced diet. The doctor says get some exercise and eat a balanced diet. These are very general recommendations. We're not robots. They don't do this for animals, so why do they do this for humans? They give individualized help for animals and plants. Why not for humans? It's just crazy. It's completely mad. It's completely mad. And yet we keep hearing the same thing, or we hear people say,
I probably eat a well-balanced diet. And that is a myth.
Yeah, we get whipped. Yeah.
I think all of that is true, but
Yeah.
because what it will take to actually train those people will be a very long time between when you train them and when they're actually going to be useful.
True.
I have
But
3
your shortcome-
apprentices in carpentry. So they're 18-year-olds. They just
Yeah.
got out of high school. They're in the
Yeah.
apprenticeship program.
They don't want to train
By the
anybody.
time I train them, by the
Yeah.
time they go to school, by the time they get that,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
5 to 10 years before they can then start training other people.
Oh, so these people have been dependent on slave labor for decades, and now they're crying about it because the immigration is being restricted.
But your
I need a
skilled
map.
right now.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
short-term gain is my loss. If he's
Yep.
going away, so
Yeah, because it's our loss, because we have to pay higher prices for housing, higher prices for everything, and that's not the only cause, but it's one of the major ones.
I understand that.
Trying to get
There's a great deal of talk these days about a so-called labor shortage.
Because if you mention immigration, you're going to get called racist. You're going to get called something, right? We can't be an adult.
Don't be fooled, it's fakery. Here's the reality. What the employers want
Yep.
is more people to work without paying higher salaries.
I agree with much of what this guy says, but you can see his slant. He's like he calls himself like a socialist or something like that. And I used to be like that in my early 20s.
They want that because that's what capitalism drives employers to do.
Many people, in the name of crony capitalism, despise capitalism.
Yeah.
Crony capitalism is this force by which you get
Yeah.
to get ahead because you have friends in business, in government especially. Basically, where the power is, government power especially. People who are setting the rules. Exactly. You set them to influence, to help yourself. It's another form of corruption, basically. But too often, when people think of capitalism, they think of that. Yes.
Yep. So we found the top 10 reasons why people get fired from their job, right? And why do you think those are? Stealing from the company is one of them. So why do you think we make these bad decisions? Does it mean we're bad people? There's no such thing as a bad person, only bad circumstances. There's the 2 unauthorized internet or email use, drug or alcohol use while on the work.
Burnout. Not just a figure of speech anymore. It's actually been declared a legitimate medical
And then we
diagnosis
have
by the
these
World Health Organization.
so-called experts.
Have jobs that are very stressful, and oftentimes I would imagine that is what leads to the burnout.
You can quit on live TV.
Wow, that sounds like a really good recommendation just to quit. From a so-called expert, he just tells you to quit or find another job. I mean, this sounds like it's Play-Doh, like it's kindergarten class.
I'm not quite there yet.
First and foremost, you want to recognize
Oh
the symptoms. You
my
want to recognize the
gosh.
cynicism, the fact that you're at work and you simply don't want to be there. You're burning out. You're not able to enjoy the things you used to enjoy. Try and take time off from work if you can, and that means just completely disconnecting. And like you said, over the 3-day holiday, hopefully people were able to do that and they were able to get away a little bit, and that can reinvigorate you. And if worse comes to worse and none of these seem to be working, then simply look for another job if you can. 'Cause
Another man would have been humiliated to say
Falling
those
to work
words.
without legitimate reason.
Another
you
man
know.
would have rather died than ask for
Yeah,
help.
there you go. Eating junk food, drinking alcohol, doing drugs. Yeah. She's researching all kinds of herbal cures. Nothing's working because she's not doing an individualized approach. Yeah, number 5, sharing confidential information with company
Does
clients.
being poor lead to poor decisions? That's the question at the heart of much of Dr. Anuj Shah's work for the past 5 years.
People start from the assumption that there must be a reason why some people are wealthy and some people are poor. And so when they look at somebody who's not well off, they assume that there's some reason why they're there that they're responsible for.
let's say 2 people get together, and this is how, personality can cause relationship divide, or togetherness, right? Get together, chemistry is one way, and then someone starts drastically supplementing zinc and becoming overly analytical.
Yeah, this is nutrition, a nutrition analysis, individualized nutrition
We've
analysis.
seen a lot during COVID, and guess what? We saw a lot of divorces. There's never higher.
Yeah. sleeping while on the clock, all these things have to do with individual biochemistry.
So a
Major
lot of people
ones.
think insomnia is when you can't sleep. Hi, I'm Chris Winter, sleep expert.
And this guy's an expert. He's just going to tell you to stay up at night.
Insomnia is not an individual who can't sleep. You know, that doesn't exist in nature because every human has to sleep. Insomnia is when sleep isn't happening when you want it to and you're upset about it. So the quickest way to solve your insomnia problem is be comfortable with being awake in bed at night.
Well, that sounds like really good advice. Like, does that sound like it's addressing the biochemical causes? All the elemental parts of your body? Then he's not addressing those.
90% of people being low in magnesium
This is
or
good.
low in magnesium and B6.
Yeah. But does that mean you take magnesium and B6? No, you have to get individualized assessment. You don't know how much you need and what frequency, all kinds of things. Lying in a job application for a resume, all bad decisions, right? Inability to get along with others, bad decisions. Does it mean you're a bad person? No. Refusal to follow boss's orders. Okay. Engaging in gossip at work in the workplace.
Let's say someone has very high iron. High iron levels is linked to anger, actually.
Yeah.
So is lead. Lead is angry. Mercury is madness. Mad Hatters, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Madness. Not necessarily anger, but just craze. Just absolute craze.
Mercury, lead, those types of things are all in our bodies. We shouldn't have any of them.
That may seem like maybe creative at times, but also just like super ungrounded. And also in that area, creativity. If you have although copper can be really helpful and needed in the body, and you may want to supplement it, possibly. Too much copper can cause someone to be overly creative.
Yep.
And has a really feminine quality in that way.
Yep.
Like overtly though. Like,
Yep.
And what that looks like would be whether male or female, starting projects, mini projects, not
Yep.
finishing.
Yep. So there's such a thing as balanced diet? No. You should watch this documentary.
No, the statement is, if you eat a well-balanced diet, you get all the vitamins and minerals you need. And any intelligent person asks, well, what is a well-balanced diet? And the answer is, it's a diet that gives you all the vitamins and minerals you need, right? So you kind of spin out of this cycle thinking, well, I probably eat a well-balanced diet. And that is a myth.
Yeah, that's a total myth. The main point is you have to get an individualized assessment. It's a big topic, but to start off, check out my website on the bottom left-hand corner there. And you can take a free, no obligation symptomatology questionnaire. It's very general, but it'll give you more information about what I do, but what your doctor doesn't do. Instead of getting generalized advice like all these so-called experts do and your doctor does, check that out. But anyway, in the meantime, please like and subscribe my video. I'm trying to make these for a reason.